All right, let's continue on with our readings from Unit 3 and some of the comments that I want to make. Kathleen, you had made the statement that you're a people pleaser, and you have to choose, and yet we sometimes have to choose our ethics first. And your statement about you had an employee who might not show up for work. And it's a dilemma. What do? Do we tell the boss? Do we just pretend we didn't know about it? It's going to affect more than just that person. And I'm a firm believer that as a former business owner and as a current business owner, as well as, teaching at Dakota Wesleyan, that ethics are critical. And I will be one of those people who, if I see something that's happened or overhear a statement, I might make a comment to the boss, because as a boss, I want to know, was there an issue? Will I be able to prevent further issues? And so you made the comment, that you did go ahead and tell the boss, which is the appropriate thing to do. Why did the individual not just tell the boss, I'm not coming in? Is it not allowed? And I don't know all the dynamics of this. The ethical thing to do is, tell the boss that, I overheard or heard there's a possibility. We might need to be prepared. When I managed a business here recently, there would be times when somebody would say to somebody, I'm just going to call in sick, and they'll just have to find somebody. Well, that they was myself, because I was in charge of the night staff, which meant it not only affected me, it affected my family, it affected any plans that we had, and then I had to question, well, where were you? Now, understand that most positions will say, if you call in sick and they see you somewhere and you're not ill, that a lot of times is cause for immediate termination. So we have to think about what the consequences are that go along with that. But I think part of the issue comes right back to the fact that we have to figure out where our morals and ethics have come from. And they're taught at home. And our backgrounds are so varied. We have individuals who come from big cities. We have individuals who come from small communities. We have individuals who come from different ethnic backgrounds, people that have lived on reservations, and it also is a conglomeration of how did you grow up? What was right? What was wrong? Is it really that much different? But depending on the circumstances, it can be. I had a student say to me once, well, if somebody stole something from you, what would you do? And I said, well, probably turn them in, because when I owned the Western store, I did have an individual who tried to steal a substantial amount, and we did prosecute. But then the student said, well, suppose you owned a grocery store, and it was a child coming in, and they were stealing bread. Well, my first inclination on that situation would be, why is the student stealing bread? And is there a family issue that I need to help with? Are there other agencies that need to be brought into this? And so probably what I would do is go into an investigative mood, which you need to do many times to find out the true answers, and find out, all right, this child is stealing bread. Are they stealing it because it was a dare? Are they stealing it because their family definitely needs that to survive? And so if upon investigating this, I found out that this is what this family's surviving on, more than likely, me being me, I would still contact authorities, not to have the child arrested, but to try to help this family. And so I probably, in the long run, would then bag up a bunch of groceries, take them to their house, and say, here, let's see if we can fix this problem. So part of it comes down to what are the dynamics and why are these things happening. It was talked about how we can do training in ethics, and I think, we all assume, well, right's right, wrong's wrong. And again, I just said we don't always know that fact. But the other side of the coin is when we're training on ethics, ethics have to start at the top. And if the manager's not ethical, then the employees look at it and go, well, what am I going to do? He wrote a extra $5 on his expense account. I can write an extra $5. Nobody's going to care, and I got an extra $5 in my pocket. But if our managers say, turn in your receipts, we will replace what you've spent on the job. Although if you were spending other things, you're going to have to pay for that yourself. So those are some things that we need to think about, is the fact that ethics start at the top. We need a better checks and balance. Kathleen, you alluded to that with the horrible situation that took place in your community, which breaks all our hearts, with the fact that those young children were taken because their parents were doing some illegal activities. And I believe that people thought there was a check and balance working, but it wasn't. And somehow all those people colluded together, and now unfortunately there have been several lives that have been lost. But we need that critical check and balance. That's where it comes into play. Is it really in use? Do we have other checks and balances beyond what we think is going on? And it's a sad state of affairs that we actually have to get to that point. So I'm going to stop the video at this point talking about that. I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about various levels of offenses.